This thing is jittery. Every session.
You're fucking jittery. Yeah.
I'm making you jittery. That's
I can't.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't either.
I didn't see it coming. They're the funniest.
Dennis, my mate, I am back in España land.
España. After some time in the Tar Heel state, did you take a while to get the tar off your heels?
After 4 weeks. No, I just cleaned my shoes in Munich for 8 hours, and then I was fine. Munich.
Oh, in Munich,
Germany. Yeah.
Is that how long you were there?
Yeah. So, look, I booked the flights. Typically, it's like a 3.5 hour layover, and that sucks, but we're used to it, and we're like, fine. And every couple years, 2 months before we're ready to fly, they send me an email saying, hey, so we've canceled that other flight. Now it's going to be a 6.5 hour layover. You're welcome to say, fuck this and find your own damn tickets from here, or you can just take what we're giving you. And when they send me that, I look and everything is worse because they know it's worse. They know it's worse. And I'm like, fine, do with me what you will. And
you
that was
alone.
Fine. No, on this return flight, I was with my 2 children. My wife had returned previously, but she had also been given the same treatment of, hey, this 3 hour layover is now a 6.5 hour layover.
A big difference.
Especially after you've just lost your night. Because when you fly east and you lose your entire night, you get to the airport and you're just like, somebody shoot me, get me on the next transport to my own bed. And that super sucks. But this time, it was going to be a 6.5 hour layover, and then our flight was delayed an hour and an hour and a half. And here I was stranded with these 2 children that were exhausted and,
plugged in.
Plugged in, sort of. Like they had content that they had downloaded to their screens that they could veg out on. But even so, my 14-year-old just lay down on some chairs for a while and slept for several hours. She's not a big sleeper in the airplane, whereas my 10-year-old son is pretty good at sleeping sitting up. And I surprised myself for the first time and slept for quite a bit of the 7-hour flight. So going east, it's like 7.5 hours. Going west, it's like 10 hours because of jet stream.
Because of the winds? Prevailing winds,
but it was... I can't complain. It was okay. We survived.
Well, it's the price you pay.
Yeah. And,
and I know it's helpful for me to point that out because it never occurred to you.
Right. And, a beer in the Munich airport is like 12 euros, which is like $14.
Yeah.
But it's like, we're here for
Yeah.
It was closer to 8 hours than anything else.
I'll tell you a flight layover issue, kind of, where I was flying from somewhere to somewhere, and my plane
Cool.
was late, and I ran to the gate. And when I got to the gate, much to my absolute misery, the door was closed. Now, trying to get that door open is pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
I went up and I said, "You've got to let me on. My medication is on that plane." I said,
I think I've heard this before. This is good.
You've got to let me on. If I'm not relaxed in sleeping before my medication, my medication is I'm going to erupt. And I went into this like, this could be life or death for me. Like, I don't know if I said convulsions or whatever. They fucking opened the door for me. Have you ever had the door open for you in all your travels? No.
And the Oscar goes to?
No, it goes to Dennis Streep. No.
Nice. Wow.
That's a terrible thing to do. Pretty much preying on people's, compassion and fear.
Hey, is that not what this podcast is all about?
Hey, that should be our new subtitle.
Preying on compassion and fear.
Yes.
Yes. So at the Munich airport during this 8 hours, I had a unique experience of we had our gate changed like 3 or 4 times, where like I had an app. So when we got there, of course, the monitors don't show you the gate for a flight that's in 7 hours.
Right. Because they don't know.
They're like, just like, chill, man.
AG is what the code is. AG. Anybody's guess.
Yes. Well, I had an app on my phone that told me, hey, man, this was scheduled for gate K9.
Fuckers just changed it.
And I was thinking, oh, that's very doggy. And so, and I had been teaching on the way to America. I told my 10-year-old, I was like, hey, you got to navigate us through all the airports. First we're going to Munich and then we're going to Charlotte. That's all you need to know. You take us to our gate. And I taught him about how, first you go to the monitor and you see this is the next flight and this is the gate you have to go to, or this is when they're going to announce the gate that you have to go to. And he was following that very well. But then on this one where I had some advanced knowledge, I was like, let's just go to this gate that I think it is. And so we went there and hung out for a while. And then they changed us to another freaking terminal.
Terminal?
Whole other terminal.
Oh.
But it was like 4 hours to go, right? It's like we'd been there for 3 hours.
Right.
And 4 hours to go. Yeah, let's go to this other terminal. So we got on the little train thing and we went to the other terminal, and we got there and there was this little play area. Well, first of all, the airport in Germany has a thing I haven't seen in. You would think in Charlotte there would be such a thing, but they have these little lounges for smokers.
I've seen that.
Sponsored by airports. It's sponsored by Camel or whatever. But so you go into this lounge, and near the door of the lounge, you can totally smell all the smoke. But they near where we were, they had one of those, but also they had this little play area that was just these weird sort of structures that kids could play on. And for the first couple hours, we ignored those. But then my son was like, I'm going to go check out that playground over there. And so he went and had the time of his life running around, chasing these other kids. And
good.
They had this little stuffed animal that they were throwing around. and they just had a great time. And he was like, he needed, because he is that way, he needed to get rid of all this energy. And he ran around, and he came back later, and I was like, so those kids you were playing with, what language did they speak? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And he was like, we didn't talk. We were just we were just like, hey, I bet I can, like, just the physical language of, hey, tag, I bet I can touch you, was enough to get the other kid to race in the other direction. And it was, I hadn't ever really considered that children from any culture can potentially play together with no
play
language.
As a universal language. Study in observation skills in youth.
Well, and physical body language.
Charlie Chaplin Comes to Life, a study of the subjective nature of visual and physical observation in children's play.
Wow. Yawn. Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It makes the most interesting subject something that you do not want to learn anymore.
Let's get the grant money on that. But that was super cool. And later he went back, and he came back and reported they don't speak English or Spanish, which is funny.
Yeah, because that's funny.
So anyway, we survived that, and somehow, due to my half sleep on the plane and my half sleep in the terminal, I haven't, it's been 4 days now, but knock on wood, I haven't really had much jet lag in the way that
you think after 4 days you still might have it?
Well,
you still might get it?
It's like in previous times, I guess I haven't slept on the plane, and then I'm just all messed up later to sleep that evening or something. But this time, in a way that I don't know, it's I haven't experienced this lack of jet lag ever really. And boy, have I experienced
knock on wood is right.
Right, but boy, have I experienced the superiority of thinking, jet lag is below me, I'm better than jet lag, and been like struck down. But like I said, knock on wood, pretty feeling good.
Well, that's great. I didn't realize that it was such a physical. I haven't gone overseas.
Harrowing.
The furthest plane trip, which is similar, I suppose, in some, is west to Seattle, then Alaska. But that's always quite a layover. There's not a. What's your longest flight of you? Because it takes you 2 or 3 to get home, or it's just 2.
Normally it's 2 flights to get home. The times when it's 3 really suck.
Yeah. But
however,
the longest leg is how long? 10. You already said
10.
This.
Yeah, but
10 getting there and only 7 coming back.
Yes, but my record, I think, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but when I went to Australia from Spain, which is literally almost the opposite side of the earth, that was like 10 hours with a 2-hour layover, and then 11 hours.
Oh my word! And
that was just
remarkable.
There's this place that the human mind can go to where it's just like, this is my life for the next little bit.
Right. I'm
gonna live in this place.
Turn the knobs down, and chill.
I'm just going to fucking deal with this because I don't have any other option. And
Right.
the knobs on any other setting are catastrophic. So that was, and I went there and back, but it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And that was, let us all remember, February 2020. I came back on March 1st, 2020. So right as shit was just destroying the earth.
Oh, right.
Like when I went there, I had when I went from, I guess, Madrid to Abu Dhabi was where my layover was. And in Madrid, they said, have you set foot on mainland China in the last 2 months? And I was like, nope. And they're like, all right, hop aboard. And that was all the COVID restrictions that were there, because February 2020 was like when China looked like it was going to explode, but everyone else was like, China, meh, meh. So,
Right.
Anywho, there we go.
Anywho, well, it's good to see you home. I know you enjoyed yourself. I sent the boys a announcement of Johnny Bergen's the blues swinging guitar man is playing up in Brevard. If I recall, Brevard's not but 45 minutes away or so.
Brevard, North Carolina.
Yeah, from Morganton. Well, but anyway, a rare opportunity. John wrote me back. Nobody else did.
Brevard.
So yeah, we're dealing with all the press releases and trying to get him interviews and lining the shit up for the 18th of August. Mike Masterson's coming to see me on Friday.
No kidding.
Yeah, what a story offline. But anyway, he's here for overnight at my house, and then we're going to a party together. The guys throwing the party is having it in a boat hangar. It's a big warehouse type thing where they store boats, and it's a big event. And about 3 weeks ago, Mike wrote me and said, I'm not sure about the party anymore. Marty was in a head-on car collision and is pretty fucked up.
Oh, shit.
And coming to find out, broken ribs and maybe a broken leg or something or other, but he's recovering well, and they're still having the party. But it's going to be a music party where there's, people, whoever wants to play will get up, and there'll be some jamming going on. He
Nice.
invited me to come and had told me when I saw him for the first time, and it had to be 10 years I haven't seen him, and I recognized him in a bar. And
Recognize who?
Marty, Mike's friend, yeah. who I only met twice maybe.
Right.
And he said to me, come to my party. And oh, by the way, he said, you need to call Mike. We need to get him up here. And I'm like, well, all right, we'll see. And so
up
that's
here,
what's
not
happening.
down here. I thought he was
up here because Mike is in Florida.
Ah.
So we're getting Mike up here to Michigan.
I got you.
Due north.
I understand the compass, yes.
And then he's hooking up with a new squeeze, and he's going to the UP with her until she can't stand it anymore, or until Jeff shows up September 15th or so.
Nice. Do you know that Mike is one of our common friends who has ever just stopped by my hometown here in Spain?
Yes. I know that.
He just showed up one day and was like, hey, man. And so,
yeah. Hey, what's up?
And I was like, hey. So that's pretty wild. Yeah. So
he's a nomad. He is the original nomad.
He's no.
When he was younger, his wife called, beautiful Barbara, and said, "Have you seen Mike?" No, not since the party. All right. Okay. She called around. A couple days. I'm worried about Mike. And come to find out, he had bought a boat. And when he bought the boat was in the water. And he just filled it full of fuel and went north in Lake Erie.
Yeah.
I believe. Until he got all the way up to the Upper Peninsula and went around the Horn and came down. I think this is all possible. Down through, go by Mackinac Island, under the bridge.
I was there.
Go into Lake Michigan and come down. And he was gone for like 25 days. And my memory may not serve me right here, and it was on the absolute nomadic. I'm
just gonna go do my thing.
No,
off I go.
I think when Mike throws a pebble in the water, there's no ripples. He just
goes.
There's no. Oh, let me think. If this happens, that happens.
Does his boat have no wake?
His boat is not woke.
Unwoke boat.
An unwoke boat that gives.
Unwoke would be a good name for a boat.
Unwoke?
Yeah.
Or woke? Wait, I know. Woke, unwoke. Who gives a fuck? That's the name of a boat.
Well, there's that too. Yes.
Uh-huh. And it's kind of, it's kind of, it's got a rhythm to it.
Indeed.
Woke, unwoke. Who gives a fuck? That's good. That would be a t-shirt. Right?
Or
the front, woke/unwoke, and a symbol, W and then a W crossed out.
Right.
And then the back, who gives a fuck? That's good.
I'm not woke. I'm broke.
Unless you buy this t-shirt.
Yes.
So a little news today.
And or get the joke.
A little news yesterday. A
little news
Donald
yesterday.
Trump, yes, indicted again. This time for what? Trying to overthrow the government of the United States. It's just a 45-page indictment, and the second sentence reads: the second sentence of the 45-page document reads, Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Period.
Ouch.
45 pages. And five, I think five.
He's
unnamed.
number 45.
Huh? That's right.
Just saying.
Huh?
He's number 45. He was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Believe me, Jack Smith did it for that reason. He said, it's 47 pages. Let's see what we can do to get it to 45. And on page 45 is the conclusion.
What is that conclusion, Dennis?
The conclusion is that he committed fraud against the voting public by trying to defraud them from their constitutional right to cast a ballot. And so his crime is against the taxpayers for fraud, among others. It's
always such a stupid little thing.
In the meantime, his fundraising is skyrocketed. DeSantis, his closest number two, is now 37 points down. The latest poll shows that if all the candidates pooled their numbers and became one candidate, Donald Trump would still win by 15 points.
I'm telling you, man, he is our next fucking president.
No.
He is.
He's our next. He will be our next nominee, but that nomination, because he's going to be nominated, the question will become whether a man who he may plead, his plea deal may be that he will not run. And if that's the case, then I guess they find another candidate.
We're recording on August 2nd, 2023. I bet you that on January 20th, 2025, fucking Trump is back in office.
Trump is what?
Is president again.
How much you want to bet?
5 coins.
5 coins?
Yes.
5 silver dollars.
Sure. $5.
$5. Yes, you're wrong. You're wrong.
All right. Do you want to take the bet?
I already took the bet.
A little virtual handshake? Shaky. All right. So
look, man, my hand is so much bigger than my head.
Let the record show that the hands have been shook, as will the world, by the result of the election. The world will be shook.
5 silver dollars.
I said $5.
No, that's not what the bet was. 5 silver dollars.
How much is a silver dollar worth?
$1.
Okay. So take your $5 and go buy your silver dollars.
No. There's some heft to 5 silver dollars.
Okay.
Adds to the attractiveness of the bet for me. And if you could imagine
how quickly you take it back after shaking hands.
I take it back.
How quickly you are clarifying. You shook hands. I said,
why don't you just play it back and play it back so it proves that what I said was 5 silver dollars, and then you misspoke.
And then I said $5, and then you shook my hand.
It isn't me attempting a Welsh. It's you who can't do a Welsh accent. In fact, doing a Welsh accent because you're Welching. You're trying to Welch.
Don't you think the Welsh find that offensive? How woke are you?
Well, it all depends. It all depends. It all depends. Well, it all depends.
They're not as slimy as the Scots.
Oh, slimy are they?
I'm sorry, limey.
Limey.
There you go.
So I went and bought a case of Smithwick's. It's like, fuck it. I'm running. Gas is expensive.
Did you know? I don't need gas. I need beer.
What are you drinking?
I don't have anything at the moment, sadly.
What?
Yes, the beer's in the apartment, and I'm just
what?
Hanging out here, chilling with my.
I don't even know that.
I got no Smithwick's.
I had to just walk away. I had to slam my headphones down and walk away. It's in your contract. You will drink more than you should every show.
It does.
Says. That's why I hired you, because you were a lush.
It doesn't say, sad hour or sober hour, does it? I have 2 topics.
Number 1.
Do you have topics? Would you like to talk about your
kind of in the back of my
your...
mind? Nothing I've written down in my notes.
So my first topic is someone, perhaps my wife, sent me a news article from Spain in Spanish about a cheese making place up in the mountains of the region where I live. And I went and I looked them up on Google Maps, and I discovered, oh wait, I've already tagged this place as a place I'd like to go visit. Not only that, but I had also gone and followed them on Twitter as a place that I would like to go visit. But in the news article, it said, hey, this place is run by a Spaniard and his wife, who's from North Carolina.
What?
And I was like, what? And so I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I live in your region. I'm also from North Carolina. How you doing? And they wrote back and they said, hey, I'm the husband My wife is from Hickory, North Carolina.
What?
And I was like, what? And so, and she went to UNC, and she has been teaching English as a second language to the Spaniards for a while, but then she started this cheese business. And so I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I'm a fellow North Carolinian in our region of Spain, Cantabria. We should hang out together sometime. Not only that, but you work in cheese and my wife works in milk. So we have a lot to talk about. And they were like, you should come down sometime, but not this summer because we are totally fucking booked. Because as a result of that, as a result of the season, but also that national article, they have lots of attention.
Yeah, exploded.
And so they are just all the way to the gills. But maybe this winter sometime we're gonna pop up there. It's not that close by. It's like an hour and a half a drive away.
That's not bad.
But just to pop up there, and I love good cheese.
Up and back.
And but just what a strange. I mean, it's always weird to find other expats nearby.
Strange coinkadink.
But to find expats from so nearby where I'm from is crazy.
Yes.
You don't find many of those. So anyway, that's
crazy.
one of my news.
I'd like to hear follow up on that.
We will on episode 227 when we get to that. But that'll be
let's I'm leaving on August 5th, which is Monday. So that Wednesday I got to skip, but we're taking the old man to New York to see his grand and great grandchildren again.
Good, because I'm gone all the next 2 weeks. So.
Oh, you are 2 weeks out?
No, so I'm going down the south of Spain. So it's not until the 23rd that I'm going to be back with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So.
And after New York, I come back. I've got my brothers, maybe two of my brothers, showing up here for that Johnny Bergen festival.
Nice.
Yeah. It's going to be
some good stories from that.
Yes, indeed.
One would hope.
So I printed 100 flyers today, or 85 flyers today. And we're heading, me and Steve, my cohort in crime here, who's got some IT skills, doing some Facebook ads, doing some, did all the figuring for the handout, the beautiful, colorful handout. And we're going up to a place in Otsego called The Liquid Note.
Cool.
It's 20 minutes or so. The Liquid Note, and every beer they make, it's a brewery, every beer they make is named after something having to do with a singer or a song. And the question on their website is, if Johnny Cash were a beer, what would it taste like? I think the name hasn't quite settled in yet with me. But the other day, the month, they bought the property next door, which had a real nice concrete tiled floor, raised the place, created an open spot, built a stage on it, built a beer ticket office, put a gate around it, and had a one-day festival there for blues with 4 bands for $10. What fun.
Nice.
I showed up for 2. And they had no amber outside, but I could get an amber next door, and it was delightful. But that's where we're headed, because tonight is open mic night. And the owner is a drummer. Name is Mark. Great guy. Smart guy. When his family owns a place called Maud's, which is in Otsego. Otsego's 2 blocks, so they own half the town if they own 3 places. But Maud's bought the building next door, and he gutted the building next door, and the first thing he built was a stage. And he built the stage in exactly the center of the long building up against one wall that wasn't next to his other restaurant. So the sound was on the outside wall, so to speak. And then he built the bar around the stage, how the bar would be, where the seating would be, where the bathrooms would be. He did the stage first, and the first thing he put on the stage was his drum kit. And I just love that engineering.
Drummer centric.
And it is one of the best rooms in town. But a buddy of mine who also we can find online is Alex Mays, Mays, who is a great guitar player, does a great solo act with a little bit of electronic backup, a pre-recorded guitar, and a little bit of very simple drum that keeps the beat going for him. And he and a couple other guys from up around there are the opening act. There's the house band, so to speak, that play the whole first set, and then they open it up for what they call jammers. So Steve, who plays the trumpet, and me are going up there tonight to distribute some of these flyers if Mark will let us, because the flyer basically says, don't come here that Friday. Instead, go downtown.
You need flyers for our podcast to distribute. Like, we need some boots on the ground to like spread this knowledge.
The podcast, but there's not. This is this blues thing is interesting and fun. I don't quite see you're talking apples and oranges. The podcast is neither of those things.
True, but it has a cool URL. So there's that.
Cool URL. Well, that's enough. That's enough reason to want to listen to this fucking dribble.
I have two other topics. Speaking of reasons, you told me, and tonight I watched the documentary about Sinéad O'Connor.
Oh God.
Called Nothing Compares.
Is it something or is it something?
And like, I was aware of her. Again, she became popular before I was really aware of the music scene, because like in the late 80s, I was just coming online with understanding
How
music.
old were you then?
Late 80s, I was, 12 or whatever, 11.
Yeah.
And it was... and how it described 1980s Ireland as just being oppressive as fuck.
Yeah.
For anyone that wasn't exactly following what the priest told you to do.
Right.
And how dark that was. But also, what an amazing person she was, and what the whole like shaved head thing. She was so freaking pretty.
Oh,
her face and her eyes and just everything was so pretty. And she was like, yeah,
fuck that.
Well, fuck your feminine stereotype of pretty. I'm going to shave my head and still be pretty.
Yeah.
And
no, shave my head so that you have to rethink whatever the fuck you were thinking.
Right, exactly. Because they wanted, the music industry wanted her to
be sexy,
have long hair and wear miniskirts. And she was like, fuck this. I'm going to challenge gender norms 35 to 40 years before that's common, and like wear men's leather jackets and shave my head and also be super sexy feminine. How just crazy that was, and how just like she claims that money and fame were never part of her agenda, and boy, that's easy to claim when it is just coming easily. But
so what do you, thinking about everything that you heard and saw, what was striking to you about the song you didn't hear?
indeed, it was not present. Yeah. So,
You know why?
well, what I know about that song that I learned literally 3 months ago, before her death, before the celebration of her life, was that was written by Prince.
Yes, and recorded by Prince.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that was a Prince song because she, in the same way that that Jimi Hendrix made "All Along the Watchtower" hit, and no one knows that that was actually Bob Dylan. Before that, she owned that song, and what I know about the share of song success means that Prince got like 80% of all of, like, she became rich, but Prince became super rich.
And Prince's estate refused to let her use it. There was, have you heard the story of the altercation between her and Prince? We talked about this on air. I believe we have, because I sent you her most recent recording, or one of her more recent recordings, after she had migrated to Islam.
Yes.
And sang just a haunting song. And I believe we had a brief conversation about it. But the story goes is that they were together at his house. He had invited her over on a spur of the moment, late in the middle of the night or something like that. She went over. He became very rude. She decided to leave. He said, "You can't leave." She left. She found herself running across the highway, just saying, "Fuck it, I'm leaving." And Prince apparently chased her. And the story is more complicated than that. You'll have to, if you're interested, Google it up. But it's one of those bizarre stories, that it's like, well, these people are crazy. Did you ever see Prince's Purple Rain?
What do you mean, seen it? The movie? No.
Oh, God.
But, these...
It's not a good movie. It's not a good movie.
Okay.
He's not a good actor. The only reason you want to watch it probably about 20 times is the music. Right. Because it is outstanding. It is outstanding soundtrack.
But she was facing all of this, misogyny that really hasn't been brought, at least to my arguably male white privilege point of view, until the last 10 or 15 years. Right. But she was facing that a long time ago.
Oh yeah, 40 years ago.
And hyper aware of it, and also very clear about it and unapologetic about it. That was the thing that I really appreciated, was like, they said, would you like to apologize for shredding the Pope's image on national live television? And she was like, nah. Like, what he supports causes trauma in children. So fuck him.
Did you see Joe Pesci's quote from Saturday Night Live?
Well, I saw his quote. Yeah.
That was on the documentary.
It was in there, yeah. That was Joe Pesci being Joe Pesci. I think that was written for him.
I don't know.
The opening monologue is largely written.
Certainly it's written, but I don't know that it was actually out of character from what I read about Joe.
But also, he was in line with the common stance at that point.
He sure was.
Because to be on her side of the fence would be to be extremely extreme in that
Italian
time.
Catholic?
No, but just
No,
to
I'm saying, Joe Pesci being an Italian Catholic.
Yeah, of course. And what I find bizarre, and I haven't looked into this, but her motives for Islam, I wonder about, because yes, she grew up super religious, and I think if you grow up super religious, it's hard to shake that
religiosity.
There is a deity, there is a religion that's cool, but to go to Islam that is like super famous for treating women poorly, I question that. But like, I don't want to, like, I would love to have been able to sit down and talk to her, but like, this documentary came out like last year.
Yes.
I wonder if she knew she was dying when this came out.
Do you know the cause of death?
I don't.
Well, my assumption is it was suicide. So she's been talking about suicide ever since her son committed suicide.
I don't know.
Yeah, then there's been no, and all that was released was that it wasn't suspicious, meaning it certainly wasn't, murder, or, mayhem. But yeah, I don't know that she had, well, I mean, she had mental health issues, one would say, although
how could you not? Yeah.
Well, I don't know that saying that you want to die because your child dies is like a signal for being mentally ill.
No, I'm saying the super abuse of her childhood.
Oh God, yes. No, I'm not. Yes. I had meant to question that. Yeah, I found her performances just incredible. And early on, before she made it big, the band she was in, before she cut her hair, actually, that long ago, she was very giddy and kind of taken up in the whole thing of it, and boy, I'll tell you, after that period, she never was like that again. There wasn't a whole lot of giddiness about her after that, after all the stuff that she went through. The Chris Christopherson
moment,
connection on stage at the Bob, I think it was a Bob Dylan birthday, which I remember seeing. But I
heard of that, and I had heard of that, and also the SNL performance.
Well, and did you know Chris Christopherson, not too terribly long ago, maybe you read about this, wrote a song, maybe just wrote it at her death, but I can't recall. I think maybe no, he wrote it after that episode, and I believe the word patriot is in the title, but I can't vouch for that. It was a passing bit of information that flew by my eyes.
I really loved the interviews with the Americans that were so pissed off that she would request that the national anthem not be played for her before her performance, and just the American knuckleheads that were like, "What do you mean you come over here and you're Irish and you I want to hear my own national anthem and blah blah blah." Just how, man, we haven't changed in 30 years.
Well, I can see the point of a person that was fought in a war and might have lost his leg, because of that whole sentimental, emotional, AKA loyalty, kill the fucking flag burners stuff. I grew up in a household that was very, very patriotic because everyone were vets, And I understand it. I don't condone the hate talk about it, of course, but I certainly understand that she didn't think about that. She had no earthly idea.
Exactly.
She just said, "Don't play it." I really would rather not.
Yeah.
And if someone said to her, that's sort of like, going into fucking Iraq and shaking hands with your left hand. I mean, you don't want to do that.
Which is a thing we all relate to. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Good metaphor. I also have another thing to talk about.
Well, let me scour my brain to see if there was something. No,
because I saw a movie.
You went to see Barbie and wrote me and said it's the best movie of the summer. Having seen the Oppenheimer and Raiders of the Lost Ark revisited, whatever the hell.
Indy, yep. And Mission Impossible.
And Mission Impossible. And this was the one. I want to hear about it.
So it's hard to summarize, but I'm happy that I went in with almost no knowledge of what it was going to be. All I knew was that my liberal feminist friends were like, OMG, you have to see this movie. And it was good on so many levels. It was funny in the way that it was supposed to be funny. It was stupid in the way it's supposed to be stupid. It was super meaningful in the way that it tried to be. And like at every depth, they fucking nailed, they hit the mark.
Who's the director?
I honestly don't know.
Or screenwriter.
Barbie movie.
Oh, it was Greta.
Greta Gerwig. Yes.
Oh my God, yes. She is really good. I've seen other movies that she's both been in and directed, and I loved every one of them. This is her catapulting into the high end hierarchy of directors. This is what this has done.
Yeah, this is like it feels like such a stupid movie that's gonna win Oscars, right? Like the general premise, I will spoil that for you.
It's probably the trailer.
Probably. I haven't even seen the trailer. Barbie lives in this perfect Barbie world where she basically is a doll that lives in a doll house that is in this little town made up of all the other doll houses for the people that bought all the other doll houses. And she wakes up in the morning and she's super happy and like life is good. And she goes and there are so many clever ways in which they make it like the way we play with dolls. Yeah. So there's no liquid in her coffee because when you're a kid, you pretend to pour the tea, right, and you pretend to drink it, and there's no liquid in the shower. She goes in the shower and she gets out of the shower and there's no liquid anywhere. And then rather than get down and walk into her car, she floats down because that's the way you do when you're a doll, is because right, the kid picks you up and puts you in the car. And she's all happy and she's saying hi to all the other Barbies and everyone's named Barbie and hi Barbie, hey Ken, there's a bunch of Kens. And it's just this perfect world for this empowered woman. Right. And the Kens are all sort of doofuses. Yes. They're just like, I'm only here to like attract Barbie's eye, and when she looks at me, like I feel alive, and then I'm not anymore because she looks away. and that's
Somebody has to stand up for the Kens.
and that's the initial premise. And in this Barbie land, they all have this concept that out there in the real world, all the little girls playing with us, because there are so many of us and we're all super liberated, we have liberated the entire world, and like women run everything in the real world, and everything is amazing in the real world because we as dolls have convinced all the little girls that they can be whatever they want to be. And that's the initial like rub of where the Barbie world thinks it's one way and the real world is quite the opposite. And the rest of the movie explores like eventually Barbie and Ken make it out into the real world, and
as big people.
Yeah, they're yes, there's big people, and Ken looks around and quickly realizes, wait a minute, where I come from, men are just garbage, but here men run everything. And he starts to read about the patriarchy and is like, yes, the patriarchy is the way to go. And so he tries to go back to Barbie Land and like institute the patriarchy, and it's this introspection into the way we treat the genders in our own society, but through this comical lens that, man, it's fucking clever.
And it's mostly funny.
It's very, very funny. It's very funny. They at one point the Kens are all fighting each other, and because they are toys, like they don't have real weapons, so they're like throwing frisbees at each other, and it's all like toy play. And I don't know.
I wonder who wrote it. It wasn't Greta, was it? Gerwig.
Yes. Directed by Greta, who wrote the screenplay with Noah Baumbach.
No kidding.
Baumbach.
Well,
yes.
This is double for her.
And I don't know. It's so well done on so many different levels that it's just like it's the movie that has most made me think about it afterwards. And which is,
I looked at the numbers, and it while the Oppenheimer did extraordinarily well, it was eclipsed by Barbie, that did the best opening day of, I think, anything other than the first Avatar, I think. But but still, I mean, that's way and above.
It's not a movie that you would go to see on opening day, because on opening day it sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But it's the week after the opening,
right,
where the people that you respect,
right,
that win on opening day come and tell you,
"Holy cow, I never would have expected
holy crap, I want to go see it again," because I've had friends tell me, I want to go see it again. And I honestly can't wait until it's available for us to watch at home.
Well, I've not seen any of these movies. My wife wants to see all of these movies, and so I think we will be doing that when we go to New York. Now, it's almost closing time. Last call. I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
In this world of AI, where now we have such an incredible, fearful ability to fake things, how is it that when I play music into a computer, it won't just easily give me the lyrics back, instead of, I don't know, all the shit that you have to do to get lyrics?
You just aren't using the right software, I think.
I'm not the one who's got it. You have it. I sent it to you, and you said this is the best I can do. But you didn't say
That was
because I
months
don't.
ago. Like we're in a new world now, man. I honestly, if you gave me a new thing now, I don't know what I would feed it into, but for sure
It's different.
there are. We're still on the cutting edge where that stuff is like in the laboratory still and not released to the public, or if it is,
Sound is more
you have to
difficult
pay
than
for it.
images.
Well, that's not what you're asking for. What you're asking for is called natural language processing, which is understanding spoken word and turning it into text. And that is easier when spoken and harder when sung, but I don't know of any services that are like providing, hey, give this live recording and we'll parse out the words spoken. However, given that we've already seen that we can feed this garbage into a thing and it can summarize it for us.
Right. And so if we were singing instead of talking,
let's sing
Eric,
the rest of the
Eric,
song.
it's good to see you, Eric. Eric,
sing the
Eric,
rest of
I
this
missed you so badly, so badly, so
Let's
badly.
sing
I
the
want
rest.
to hug you, Radley.
If we
Radley.
sing at the same time, I don't know if that's going to work.
This is our podcast, and you know it has to end.
Yes, it
It's
does.
5:30 here in the States. I've got sausage dished out on the plate. It must be dinner time.
Dinner time.
Oh, Eric, oh, Eric, oh, Eric. It's time
Dennis,
that I will leave
Dennis,
you. I'll leave
Dennis,
you. I'll leave
Dennis.
you. I'm just
Time
going
to
fade
go.
away, away.
And press stop recording. Bum, bum. Okay, that's the musical end to episode number 191. You can find the show notes with links to the Sinéad O'Connor articles and things like that at happyhour.fm/191. You can help support the show at patreon.com/happyhour. Please do. We are about to take a fortnight of summer vacation. So, see you in 3 weeks.